Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yes, this is Chuntcast episode 41. Hail to you and welcome. Oh my god. Yeah, if I seem a bit beside myself, it's because I've just done recording this, right? I've just finished recording this, and if you can tell my voice is a little hoarse or a bit raspy, it's because I've just been done talking for an hour about the content of this episode. I did a sound test before I went record just to make sure, as you should do. If you want to do this right and be good at it, right? So I've done that, and I finish the episode after recording, and the audio, which I can see, it's now going, it's there, and I can see it's peaking. It's doing what it's meant to do. Yep. So we're just going to do this again. So if you're here joining live, this is actually live. And I'm glad I wasn't live doing this in the first place. Yes. So like my usual spiel at the top of the episode is, I am king of this realm, Uncle Chunt. I hope you're all been great ones to you and yours. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm being great to myself by doing this all over again. So hopefully you will humor me with this episode. If it's a bit all over the shop, it's because it's already been that way, and we're just going to go through it because I want to get one out for you this weekend. I want to start this year doing it every weekend, and I'm not going to just not do it because I've had a mistake. The best way to if you have a mistake, you just keep going and you try again. And that's what I'm doing here. Let's go again. All right. So I have to throw this out there, unfortunately. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing and clicking that bell notification so you can be a part of the weekly garbage fire that is the Chuntcast for 2022 so far. And if you saw the little dude at the end of that clip there, he did a costume. It's a convention I went to years ago. It was a really great Sandman costume. It was a good sport. And that little clip of footage I used, it's from an old channel trailer I used to have when I used to have it under the moniker of Chunt TV.
So tonight, I got through this really, really well during the initial recording of this episode, and tonight it's just going to wing it. I'm just going to wing it. I had a lot of good points that I brought up that were spontaneous and that I didn't have notes down for. So I'm going to try and maybe hit on what I did before. And if I don't, it is what it is. And I'll have the live chat going, so I'll keep an eye on it. So if I do see any interaction in there tonight, I'll call it out, and maybe that'll lighten up the experience a bit. But anyway, before further ado, and I hate doing that, and I'm going to punch myself in the face after I'm done here. I hate that. Without further ado, like people say that all the time on YouTube, and it's annoying as hell. I'm going to try and keep this positive. I'm already a little bit negative just before how it all turned out. It was a really good episode. I was really happy with, but let's persevere. I just want to touch on briefly. Last week I spoke about Pokemon Legends Arceus and how I was really enjoying it. So I want to touch on that where I've actually finished it. I've caught every Pokemon. I've done every mainline quest. I've done every side quest in that game. I am officially done with Pokemon Legends Arceus. 82 hours or something I'm in now. And I was griping last week about video games requiring a lot of time of me. Like between 40 and 100 hours I try and deviate from, So, yeah, it is what it is, right? I'm a bit of a hypocrite when that's concerned with this particular game, but I really, really enjoyed it, and just take it as a vote of strong confidence from me that it's a very enjoyable game. I'm not a big Pokemon fan either, and I really enjoyed it. So if you are a Pokemon fan, you'll probably get more out of it than me. Maybe not. Like if you're used to all the minutiae and the mechanics of the traditional games and how in depth that is, that's not me. Like, this game is for me. But you might enjoy it too. It's a very fresh approach, and I think you'll enjoy it. Otherwise, if you're like me, who's not a big Pokemon fan at all, I still highly recommend the game. I really do. But I'm very much looking forward to having a break from it. I'm going to go back to Skyward Sword now. I think I'm about halfway through that game. So I'm very excited to go back to that. And then afterwards, I think I'm ready to finally get to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because there's a major piece of content coming out for a DLC like expansion for it around Ragnarok. I can't remember the official name for it, but like you play as Odin and you're seeking out Balder, and Surtur's there, like, and you converse with Surtur and all that kind of stuff. I can't wait to play that. Like it's very fantastical by the trailer. It's very not set in reality, which we're talking about the Norse gods and everything. So end of story. But yeah, very, very keen to go into that. So cool. Enough of that rambling out of the way. So how do we normally start these Chunt casts? We have an Ask Chunt question, which I really love getting submissions for, and I love answering them because they're usually about topics that I probably wouldn't go into or speak of more. And I'm happy to answer questions that you might be curious about. So let's just get right into that one immediately. Yes. Cool. So tonight, Ask Chunt, the first one off the bat. This comes from Stewie. Now, Stewie's a legend. I've shouted out his name a couple times on recent events that I've been a part of, or even just other Ask Chunt submissions that he puts through. And he's a really nice guy, top bloke. He's got the most positive attitude that you can find. Like he's from Scotland, and he's got that awesome accent. And anytime you interact with him on Twitter, or even see him on his videos on his channel or that he uploads to Twitter, he's just super positive. And like he submits questions, excuse me, to this In Spacey's show, and he's always positive. He's just always got a smile on his face. Even if life gets hard, he's always smiling about it, which is really great to see. So I just want to give him a bit of a shout out there before I go into the question. So he's answering, that's one right up my alley, and I know he enjoys it too. But Transformers, like everybody that knows me knows that I'm a big Transformer fan. I mean, you just had a look at my massive Transformers collection behind me for a good amount of time just then. The big Unicron over there, it's my jam. I really enjoy Transformers. So I'm going to enjoy answering this one again. So he says, "Evening, me bro." I'm not going to put on the Scottish accent. I don't want to tread on any toes with that. I know he'll have a laugh even if I tried. Like, he's not going to be pissed off about it. But I'm not going to do it. But he says, evening me bro. Wee question for your cast. Just wondering if there are any Transformers you'd love to see come out to purchase that either are in the Transformer universe or even ones that can be tie-ins with other franchises. Me personally, I've always adored the tapes for Blaster and Soundwave. A definitive edition of these tapes, slightly oversized to increase the detail of the models, would be a welcome addition to my shelf anytime. Ravage, Laserbeak, Black Cat, Rewind, and Slugfest. Now, admittedly, I'm not familiar with Black Cat or Slugfest. They might be a couple of obscure Soundwave tapes or Sound Blaster, or does, I don't know, Blaster if those are the other ones. But now I have on order the new War for Cybertron Kingdom / Legacy Blaster that's coming out. It's a Voyager size, probably about this big. Now let me see. This Optimus Prime that I've got here is the Voyager series, or the Voyager size, I should say, the Voyager class. So Blaster is going to be about that big, and I've got a Soundwave on the shelf over there who's just a little bit, maybe around that tall, if not a little shorter. So the Blaster figure that's coming out is a mainline figure from I'm just trying to put this back down here, from Kingdom, and the new Legacy series that's coming out. I've never had a Blaster figure, so this will be my first. I have a Soundwave over there that came out. I've got the Siege version, the War for Cybertron Siege Soundwave, who doesn't officially turn into a tape deck, but you can kind of futz the transformation into like a pseudo Cybertronian sound device, or I don't know if you want to call it tape deck type of configuration, which I quite like. Like, it's not an official thing, but it's a fan mode, but it kind of works. And you can transform him into the very first episode where he turns into the street lamp. You can do that too. It's not an official transformation, but they purposely did put that in there. The designers personally put that mode in there. So I quite like that one. They did release a more G1 accurate tape deck version of Soundwave during the Netflix subline for these toys in recent years. Over the last 2 years, there was a Netflix version of Soundwave that they released that's really just on point Soundwave with a couple of cassettes. I think it came with Ravage and Laserbeak, and that one just sold out so quick. I never got one. I hope they re-release it in Legacy because I'll probably pick it up. But I am quite partial to the Cybertronian version of Soundwave that I have. Still has the big window chest. Still has the cassettes that go in there. He's just a bit more like Cybertronian, and he has a different mode. He doesn't turn into he turns into like a battle cruiser type thing more than anything else. He doesn't turn into a tape deck, but still just as good. So I'm keen to get them side by side and take some photos with Blaster. And I think he comes with, who does he come with? Not Twin Cast. I can't remember the name of the little cassette that he comes with in Kingdom and Legacy, but he does come with one at least, which is good. I've got all of Soundwave's cassettes, so I've got the equivalents of Rumble and I've got Ravage, I've got Laserbeak, Rumble, and what's the other one? I've totally blanked on these names. People that are watching this, it's Rumble and Frenzy. That's the other one. Yeah, I heard it in the back of my head. I don't know if someone out there is yelling at me, but anyway. Yeah, so I've got them all for Soundwave, and I hope they release all the cassettes for Blaster as well, because I'll probably try and pick them up as well. But I'm all in Transformers, man. I love it. But to answer your question as to having bigger versions, they are out there, but you'll probably have to source them from third-party market. There are a lot of third-party suppliers or third-party toy makers or Transformer makers that release unofficial, non-licensed versions. So unfortunately, if you do go the third-party route, they won't have like the symbols. They won't have the Decepticon or Autobot logos on them, obviously for legal reasons, and they won't be called as much. They won't have their official names. They'll be called something else. Like there's a brand out there called KFC Resistor, which is the Blaster equivalent, and it's like taller than that Optimus Prime that I showed you before, and it's masterpiece scale, which is a bit bigger than normal. And if you want to go that route, that's a really good one. My brother used to have one, and another mate of mine, Dave, he's a full-on, he loves his masterpiece scale stuff, and he's actively trying to find one of those as his blaster, because Hasbro hasn't officially released like a proper masterpiece blaster yet. So if you look at that and do a quick Google search for another, like, God, I can't remember the Fans Toys or something like that. They have a good sound wave that they do. You might have to look around for a bit because there are a lot of them now. There are a lot of third-party companies that are making Transformers toys, and they do them very well, and they make them more complex. They are a bit more expensive, but they are out there. If you're looking for something, what you're asking, like bigger tapes or bigger like scale versions of figures, they are out there. You might just have to pay a little bit more. I personally, as much as I enjoy the masterpiece scale, I've only got one. My brother got me the Sunstreaker. Yeah, Sunstreaker here. So, and he's not the biggest Transformer, right? So the masterpiece scale Optimus Prime is probably a bit taller than that. So they're big figures. So if you think of that, of what to expect, and I've only transformed this like twice because it's so complex. But it's very, very good. It's an excellent figure. But just be prepared to pay a bit more for them. I don't go the masterpiece route because of the price. They're very expensive. I tend to just go with the mainline Hasbro product. Like the War for Cybertron series has been fantastic, and it hasn't been too expensive that it's affected my life too much. But I've gone all in that toy line regardless, and I've spent a lot of money, but it's coming to the end now. I've only got like a handful left on my want list, like 4 or 5 left on my want list. So you asked me what are ones that I'm looking for, so that ties in very well to the next part of this. So Bulkhead is a relatively new character. Like he was in, I think it was in Energon or Cybertron, the Unicron trilogy that was out. I didn't really like that trilogy of shows too much outside of Transformers Armada is really good, but I didn't like the other 2 series in that trilogy. But during the peak of the Michael Bay Transformers era of movies, there was a cartoon called Transformers Prime that released, and he was one of the main characters in that show, and I really enjoyed that show. It was excellent. Peter Cullen and Frank Welker came back to voice Optimus Prime and Megatron respectively. But Bulkhead, he's just like a really happy-go-lucky, gentle giant, but he'll throw down and he will beat your ass if he's pushed to the point where he has to, and he revels in it. I really enjoy that character, and he has this face. Like, you look at the top photo there of the headpiece. That's on the side of the box. He's got that kind of look. I do that face a lot, and I saw myself in this character, this particular version. He's just really like, he's a big fella. He's burly. It looks like he could have a beard, but he doesn't. But he's got a chin there, like he just grimaces all the time. Does that face? I love that. I just saw myself in this guy, and I'm like, yes, I have to have it. It's coming out like 4 or 5 months or something. But people in France, there's a France shop or toy shop somewhere in France that has already been selling them somehow. I don't know how they got the stock or how they're allowed to sell them, but they're out there. But it looks like the rest of the world is going to have to wait. But I'm going to put a pre-order down for this guy this week. I have to have one. The reviews I've seen for him are just, he looks awesome. And I can see him being a very much a favorite of my collection. Just the look of him, I love it. And he just looks like just a big, beefy Transformer. And Bulkhead's kind of a cool name. And I love the head. It's a very unique head sculpt, very unique. He's not like one of the generic Autobots or Transformers that you see a lot. So yeah, very much like it. After that, probably just revisits or modern reworks, I should say, of Beast Wars Transmetal Optimus Primal. One of my favorite things in that show is Optimus Primal, the Transmetal 1. I just love it. The design of it is fantastic, and the hoverboard mode in Beast mode, I love it. The blue chrome, it's so unique. I love it. And the way Gary Chalk's voice changes when he's in this character, it's awesome. And the whole story, how they bring him back. He's I mean, if you haven't watched this show, it's like a 20-year-old show or something by now, or plus. Optimus Primal gets blown up at the end of season 1, and the first few episodes of season 2 is them retrieving or trying to find a way to bring Primal back, and this is how he comes back. Watch the show. It's more in depth than that, and it's epic. Secondly, into that is Megatron Transmetal from Beast Wars as well. Just super imposing. Just the color scheme, the design, the turbines and the rollerblades are a bit jokey, but they're still awesome. The head, the T-Rex head sculpt is just menacing. I love it. But I just love Megatron Beast Wars so much. He's one of my favorite characters ever. Just David Kay's voice work with that character, it's just so iconic. People still quote him to this day or keep trying to do their best David Kay, the whole years thing and all that. I love it. I think I've got another one here. Yeah, so the recent War for Cybertron series on Netflix, the last season of it had the Ark, which is the Autobot ship that they left Cybertron on. Spoilers. It's not really a spoiler. It's been all over the marketing, and the toys was released, and it's all over the box art. So whatever. I don't know if you care, but during the climax of season 3, Teletran 1 gets a power boost and finds a way to transform himself into a massive robot. So that's a ship-sized transformer, and in the palm of his hand, just for scale, he's got Megatron in the palm of his hands. So if you look at his chest, it's a cockpit. So just for scale there. And he's like giving a big uppercut to the Nemesis ship. So this is what I'm leading into. So this is an example of what the Autobot ship, the Ark, looks like, and its transform mode. What I want is the equivalent, the counterpoint or counterpart, so to speak, of the Decepticon ship, the Nemesis. And this is a very bad angle, but I couldn't find a really good one. So this is it. I want the equivalent to go with the Ark. Now, I have ordered the Ark, and I'm still waiting for it to arrive. COVID just stopped a lot of the traffic on these things from coming through. So I'm promised that mine should be getting here, and the rest of the figures that I've ordered should be coming through hopefully later this month of February. We'll see about that. But yeah, I'd love them to do a Nemesis Titan class. So when I say Titan class, you saw in the this image here. Now, in the previous image where you can see he's holding Megatron in the palm of his hand, we can't see him. Unfortunately, like if you look at this Bumblebee figure here, how small it is, the hand on that guy is probably just going to be about, it's not going to be able to hold him. So it's not very big. So it's not to scale. And if it was, it'd be way too expensive. But still, it's still epic to see that they've finally done it. Like I always thought, why can't the Autobot ship transform? And they finally did it, which is awesome. So I hope they do one. But yes, those are my picks for the ones I want to see. Two of them, well, one of them at the start of the Bulkhead is actually coming out. That's coming to fruition, which is good. I've got the original Optimus Primal Transmetal. I've still got it in my box, but it's just yellowing around the back because of the old toys. They tend to yellow over time when it's white or grey. I used to have the original one of this one, but the gold plastic corroded over time. It's a very known problem with these old toys that would use gold plastic. It just wasn't strong, and it would just crumble. And I remember one day I picked it up out of my box after moving. One day I was going to put it back on my shelf, and it just fell apart. It just fell into two pieces without me even really doing anything, and I was pretty pissed off about that. But yeah, that's just a bit of knowledge, bit of Transformers knowledge, if you care. We asked the question, so I suppose you do. So yeah, I really appreciate that. A good Transformers question, I have no problem in answering, and I enjoy talking Transformers. More, please, yes. But anyway, we're going to go into some gaming content now. This is all gaming related. There are Transformers games, there are DC Comics games, there are Sonic the Hedgehog games. It's all gaming related. It's just variants of those industries. So stick with it. Yes, just stick with it. So the next topic up after this one is the Nintendo Direct came out this week, the first one for the year. And we had a lot of announcements and reveals and stuff. But what was revealed and what did I like? Let's get into it. Oh my God. We're doing this live? Yes, we're live. I just realized there was one more Transformer that I left out of that, so I'll slide over. But we're done with Transformers. We're done, Chunt. Just move on. Talk about some games. I know. So Nintendo. Now I've gone on record several times. I'm not the biggest Nintendo guy. Like I'm not. I do appreciate the Mario games. I don't have an affinity for most of Nintendo's IP, right? So my Switch it's my third Switch I've bought. I had a Switch, the first model. I had I had 6 games or something for it. I had ARMS and I had Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart and a bunch of other games, a bunch of Mario games like Mario Odyssey and New Mario Brothers U or whatever, and something else, can't remember. I was really enjoying my time with it, but there was just a period of time with the Switch that just didn't really have many games for it. So I just, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, that's the other one. And I just sold it all. I got it all for a good price, and I bought something else that I wanted with it. And then I found myself missing Smash Bros. Smash Bros is the other one. Smash Bros Ultimate. I was missing that. So I went out and bought a Switch Lite and Smash Brothers just to play Smash Brothers. And then Animal Crossing came out. I was like, oh man, I'm playing Animal Crossing a lot. So I started rolling back in. So eventually I got sick of not being able to put it on the big screen. So I sold the Switch Lite. No, I traded it in and picked up the red box Nintendo Switch, and I'm keeping that one. Like, I've learnt my lesson. This is the third time, my third Switch. I've learnt my lesson, and I'm going to keep it. And I've just been picking up Mario games over time, like even ones that I previously owned, because I will go back to them. I enjoy Mario games. So whenever a Nintendo Direct comes out, I'm always interested to see what the next Mario game is. Not so much anything else. It might be boring to you, but it's just what appeals to me. And I'm telegraphing the first thing that comes to mind on this Nintendo Direct, amongst anything else, and that's Mario Strikers Battle League Football. Yes. Am I a sports fan? No. Like, outside of Strongman, like Brian Shaw and Nick Best and all the rest of them, I couldn't give two tosses about sport. But the Mario games are fun. Like the Mario sports games I actually quite enjoy. I don't have Mario Tennis yet. I've got Mario Golf, which I actually started playing. I quite enjoy it. It's pretty chill. Mario Kart I would probably put under sports because racing is a sport. And I don't like soccer, but this struck a chord with me. Like, even back in the day on the GameCube, Mario Strikers on the GameCube, I thought it looked awesome. I thought it looked cool. The art style, everything about it looked like a lot of fun. And I'm glad they're bringing this back. I had no idea there was a Nintendo Wii version of this game or release of this game. So I'm excited. I'm going to be putting a pre-order down for this. I want in. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. It just looks wild. I love all the outfits that you can upgrade or swap over, and you can look all beefy and geared up, and any excuse to play Wario in something, I'm totally down for. Wario is my guy. The stadiums look awesome. How they're like half and half, 2 different styles for each team. I think that's a really cool idea. So I'm very excited to see what they do with that. It's not at 60 frames a second by the looks, which is disappointing. I think the Switch could handle it. Maybe there's some time. There's still a couple of months before this comes out. I think it's out in June or something. Could be wrong. However, some extra polish time, maybe we'll get to 60 frames. If not, it is what it is. But otherwise, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's not legal soccer at all. Like, people are using their hands and floating around and doing shelling soccer type moves and stuff. It's just a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to it. Besides that, what was the other game? There was this little game that nobody's ever heard of. Whoa, let's bring this up. Yeah, we're live. Kirby. Yes. So Kirby again. I mentioned Kirby last week. And on the Sin Spacies Nintendo Fest, I spoke about that as well. How much I'm looking forward to this. And Let's Talk Games. I've talked about this game on a few different platforms, and I'm still keen for it. And the next trailer that came out, it's just like a big WTF. Like, what? I don't know anything about Kirby, so I don't know if this is normal for him. But I was like, right, okay, cool. I have heard stories on other podcasts or videos about how Kirby's been able to swallow a singularity. Why is he having a hard time getting his mouth around a car in this mouthful mode? And I realize how stupid of a question that is. Why am I wasting time thinking about that? Look at it. Why should I be worrying about it? Yes. But it looks bizarre. But I'm super keen for it still. Like, there's nothing that game can show me really at the moment that would turn me around from it. It just looks like a lot of fun. It's clearly not taking itself too seriously, and I'm cool for that. You know, if I can finish Skyward Sword this month, this comes out next month, so I can just roll right into another game, and then Mario Strikers is 2 months after that, I think. So that's a good run. Nintendo's got a good thing going this year already, just banging out some good games. The next one after that is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. Now, I don't care what anyone says. This is excellent value. Now, you might have the argument of like, oh, it's a 2,500-year-old game that's been across 2 different systems. Like, why is this the thing? Why didn't they just make a Mario Kart 9? Like, why? Why isn't that a thing? Well, I would argue, why not? I mean, this game has sold, correct me if I'm wrong, I should have checked the stats before I started talking about it, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I'm pretty sure, has sold over 40 million units, I want to say, on the Switch hardware, which is over 100 million units. So there's still potential growth for this game, even though it's a Wii U game that got a second life. But this is a good strategy. When you've got an install base that huge, it's easy money on the table. Like the outlay that would have cost Nintendo or whoever developed this to go back and recreate or remaster previous courses from all the previous games. Like, we're getting 48 new courses for this game, 48 courses over between now and the end of 2023 for $25 USD. So hypothetically, well, I don't know, that's $30-40 or something Australian. I don't know. Just a quick kind of roundup. And that's pretty good. I mean, if Mario Kart is your thing and you're kind of over the courses that are in there already, because it can be that way. Like, I got pretty over the courses after a while. And this will bring another life into this game that it didn't previously had. I'm in for this. I'm going to buy this pass, and I'll just keep enjoying the new courses that keep coming through, and hopefully I can play online, with my lady and, I don't know, my brother and his wife. We might actually play this online or something. I don't know. Even for myself, this is the perfect excuse for me to get back into this game after so long and not playing it. This is one of the games I traded in or sold when I just mentioned about the previous 2 Switches I had, and I've picked it up again since. But I haven't played it yet because, I've had other games, right? So this is the perfect excuse for me to play it again. I think this is really good value. I saw a lot of arguments online about it. I'm like, why? Like, you don't have to buy it. You don't have to. And they already said they're working on concepts of Mario Kart 9 or whatever the next Mario Kart is, whether it's Mario Kart 9 or not. But they're smart in doing this, making it the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate type treatment for Mario Kart. Because Mario Kart 8 is so successful for a reason. Like, it's the standard. It's excellent. It's very good. It's very polished. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun courses, and now we're going to experience more courses from previous games that you might not have played. It's just like new fighters coming into Smash Bros. Like, they could potentially put in more characters for this. Diddy Kong or something like that. Maybe just give us something new. You never know. I mean, this has become a platform now, which is fine. It's a really good game. It's really good. It doesn't need to look more pretty than it does. Nintendo games mostly don't have to. But anyway, I've spoken a lot about this already. I just saw a lot of discourse online about it. It's unnecessary. You don't have to buy it. And Mario Kart 9, it sounds like it's going to be a ways out. You're probably waiting till the next Switch anyway. They're going to be milking Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the next 2 years. So get ready to wait. If you want some Mario Kart action, here's your option. A lot more courses from all the previous games before. 48 new courses. I'm sure you'll find a reason to come back and play if you really wanted. Now, the final thing in that direct that took my interest was Clannad. Not because I'm a fan. I'm not going to pretend that I am like a lot of people online do. I guarantee you that there's a lot of conversation online about Clannad from people that have no idea or affinity with who Clannad is, or they've only heard about Clannad from a lot of these retro gaming channels that keep harping on about old mascots or games that came out that are super rare now on the secondary market. Like, you look at this game, the PS1 or PS2 versions, they're like hundreds of dollars on eBay or other like second party platforms that you can buy them from, because a lot of these retro YouTubers have just upped the price because they keep hyping up the game and telling us how rare it is. I mean, granted, it probably is a rare game to get, but still, it's like, what? So what? I don't remember many people talking about Clannad back in the day, and I do remember this character from the day. I do remember it in ads, and I remember seeing it in Blockbuster or Video Easy or whatever, to rent, in magazines. There are ads for it. I remember seeing this character. So, but in any space, like, who am I to poo-poo on it? I mean, it's great to see it getting another life and not being stuck on like 20-year-old consoles or more, 30-year-old machines. I don't know at this point. And people that are currently pretending that they've always loved Clannad can finally get the game. I guarantee you there's a lot of people out there that are fake fans that are just getting on the hype train. Oh yeah, I love Clannad. Yeah, it's so good. Oh yeah, but I guarantee they've never touched the game. They've never played it, and they would never spend the hundreds of dollars to buy the actual game. Let alone they probably don't own the original hardware to play it on. I know I'm being a bit negative, but there's a lot of them out there. You see them all the time. They're all over social media. There's a lot of other channels online that they do talk about stuff that that they never played that game. They're just doing it for the likes and the clout and whatever. Anyway, that's another story altogether. It's a bit negative, but regardless, Clannad, it's good to see it come back. As someone who has never played it, admittedly, but I really like the character design. I understand there's a fan base for this character. I do follow some people that are generally excited for this, and they've shown their collection, like they've shown like the games that they own and they've played it. And they're generally excited for this to come back. Now, I'm not entirely sure on the specifics of this one. This is Clannad 1 and 2 coming back, right? Some people I've seen report, and even some outlets have reported differently, where this is just a direct port from the Wii version, both of them, or some outlets are saying that these are both remakes. But if they are both remakes, they don't look incredible. They do look a bit old, but the character model for Clannad does look very good. So it's definitely not PS1. It definitely looks better than PS1. I'll say that much. But I don't know. If this comes to Game Pass, I'll give it a go. Or if it's on like a heavy discount one day, I might pick it up. I am very curious to play it. I do like my platformers. Like I said, my Switch is a Mario machine, basically. Just that kind of platformer action, like Kirby as well. That new Kirby, I've never played it before. Never played this before, so I'm all for trying new things, right? So if the price is right, I'll give it a go. It's coming to PlayStation and Xbox as well, not just Switch, so who knows? Yay for those who love Clannad. Anyway, moving on. That's enough talk about Nintendo Direct. I know there's a lot of, just to finish up that topic, I know there's a lot of people that are a bit negative about that recent Direct. Like they're always looking for it to blow their minds and to change their life every time Nintendo releases the Direct, but it's not always going to be for you. Nintendo and even all the other gaming releases or gaming events that come out, I'm guilty of it. I do go into a lot of these events going, well, what's going to be in this for me? And that's what it's there for, right? It's there as a marketing thing to tell everybody, the consumers, of what's coming out. But you don't have to love everything, You really don't have to. Like Front Mission 1 and 2 were announced. Who the hell knows what Front Mission is? But I've seen people on my socials that actually know what Front Mission is. And they were generally excited. And it was like 1 or 2 people. So they are out there, and Nintendo seem to be catering for those, or publishers, I should say, are going through their back catalog to see what else they can like squeeze money out of for nostalgia's sake, and putting out easy remakes or HD re-releases like Chrono Cross. That's another one I didn't put on here because I don't really care. I understand there's a fan base for Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, but I don't really care. But they're out there. People have been clamoring and asking for that, just like people have been asking for Clannad. So it's good to see all these games getting new life and not being stuck on the old hardware. That's what I'm taking away from it. Yeah, like most of this Direct isn't for me, but mostly Nintendo stuff isn't for me anyway. The same goes for Xbox and Nintendo. Not everything is for me on that either. As long as I can get like 1 or 2 games out of an event, I'm good. Even if it's just one game and it's a big game for me, I'm good. I don't need to be buying like 10 games every month like some people are reacting to. Like I know we're in shithouse times at the moment. I wasn't going to try and swear as much, but we're in shithouse times lately, and I understand everybody's just longing for new entertainment all the time, and we're all frustrated, but just calm down. It's not the end of the world. There's going to be another direct. Just relax. E3's around the corner, or the equivalent of is around the corner. There's new stuff coming. Just relax. Yes. Cool. All right, let's move into the second last topic. Now, this has been running long, so I'm going to try and get through the next two topics. But I do have a couple of points that I want to make anyway. So let's move on. Yes. Boom. All right, cool. So the next topic is I'm going to just kind of skim over this because I know I don't really care too much. And I know that's a great way to start a new topic. Yeah, let's talk about this I don't really care about. But I have reasons. And for those of you who know me, you'll probably know what I'm going to say. So not to give you a whole massive history and rundown of what this is, but DC Comics movies have lost me ever since they messed up Justice League. I've just lost interest. We eventually got the Zack Snyder Justice League, which is amazing, and I love it. I'm so glad that happened. Never thought it was going to. And it's such a win for fans, and not only Zack Snyder, but fans in general. And just a big FU to the executives over at Warner Brothers who just keep making constant mistakes, and now they're getting sued up the arse for it. And I'm glad to see it. That's a whole other topic altogether. If you don't understand the context of that, I don't expect you to. It's like behind the scenes of the film industry stuff that you don't need to know about. But it's out there. Anyway, so DC released a minute-long trailer containing shots from their releases this year. So they released the Black Adam shots. They released Aquaman and Lost Kingdom footage. What was the other one? This is how much I care. Oh, The Flash and Black Adam. Oh, was it Black Adam? Aquaman, Flash. What's the third one? This is how much I give a shit. I'll go through the screenshots and we'll figure it out. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Batman. That's the one. I didn't bother talking about that one, so I'm not really excited for the new Batman. I want a Ben Affleck Batman. I wanted that solo movie so bad. Anyway, Black Adam and The Rock, right? I have thoughts. But first off, I want to just talk about Dr. Fate and give him a spotlight, because Dr. Fate is one of the most underutilized characters over at DC Comics, much like Doctor Strange was for a long time with Marvel until he got his movie, right? And people got familiar with him now through his solo and the Avengers movies and the Spider-Man movies. You know, he's a household name now. But he has been in many households, but not at this wide space. But Dr. Fate, man, he's just like just imagine Doctor Strange, but just cooler and arguably more powerful. I'm not going to go into it, but I love Dr. Fate. I'm so excited to see him on the big screen finally. We've had him on different iterations, like live action, like Smallville. I'm not going to even count that because it just looked really bad. He was in something else as well. I can't remember, but didn't leave too much of an impact. But he's just an awesome character. So what I don't get, but I kind of understand, is the helmet doesn't have the eye slits that the character normally has. Like it's like the white glowing eyes, which I was so looking forward to seeing. But the design is so on point, and I understand why there's no eyes, because it's not really needed. Like when you know what this character is, like Naboo is the helmet, like this entity that exists within the helmet. And essentially whoever wears the helmet, it just becomes a vessel for that entity. So it's not needed. I get it. And I think that's how they'll explain it away, or how they'll justify it. Because if you're that entity that's that powerful, that you need like a human host to kind of act as a conduit for you in the physical realm, so to speak. You don't need most of your senses because you're aware of stuff, you know. And I think that's how they'll get around it. But I love the design. Otherwise, it's on point. It's just like, if you look at the Injustice costume, which I think that's almost the best Dr. Fate costume I've ever seen. The new 52 Dr. Fate suit, I think, is brilliant. I love it. It's very detailed, and I think that's why they dumbed it down, because I think it was just too difficult to draw constantly. They've changed that costume over the last 10 years and simplified it. Looking more similar to this without like all the textures and stuff. But this is so good. After that, well, also like Pierce Brosnan playing Dr. Fate is just perfect casting. There's no one else I could think of. Really, there's no one else I could imagine them picking other than Pierce Brosnan. I think that's perfect. Next is Aquaman. I loved Aquaman 1. I think that was brilliant. It should have been so bad, but it wasn't. It was so awesome. James Wan did miracles with that. And Jason Momoa has done even more miracles in making Aquaman a badass. He's always been a badass, but popular media or mainstream media has always looked at him as a joke, which has always annoyed me, because I know he's always been an awesome character. He's like, if you read the New 52 run, the first 12 issues of like that story arc is basically what the first Aquaman movie was based off or interpreted of. It's fantastic, really good. It really modernized the character very well, and did away with the jokes very quickly. But Jason Momoa just nailed it and got rid of all those. Just you can't look at that guy sitting there on the throne, like this epic throne, even with the gold and green and just the hair and the beard, like it just looks awesome. You can't say anything else. Like, it's just badass, man. I love it. So I can't wait to see Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom. Very keen to go back into that world. And Patrick Wilson as Ocean Master was awesome. Was one of my favorite parts of the first movie. And I can't wait to see what else they do with him. And hopefully they do more with Black Manta in this one. I'm very underutilized in that first movie. So hopefully they flesh him out in this one. Now the Flash I have issues with, just mainly like production stuff. Like the executive, this Flash movie should have come out almost 5 to 6 years ago, but it's changed hands, like changed directors, changed writers so many times over the last decade that Warner Brothers just can't seem to get it. And like the creative teams leave, it's not because it's a hard movie to do. It's just Warner Brothers executives interfering, and the directors and writers just can't hang around that long just to wait. Yeah, so they move on to something else. And like creative differences and stuff, like they signed on for Zack Snyder's vision of the DC universe, right? And so those movies that were being made around that time and developed were all like in agreement to be part of this world, and all that confusion and studio interference and the mess with the Justice League, all that kind of stuff is now flowing into the Flash, where Ray Fisher was removed from the project because he was speaking out in defense of himself and other actors on Justice League, defending them from the abuse and allegations and like racial abuse and sexual harassment in some areas from Warner Brothers executives. It's a lot more depth to that. I'm just kind of giving it broad strokes at the moment, so just bear with me on that. So they removed him from the project because it was too controversial, right? So they ended up rewriting this movie again, like getting rid of him out of the movie, and now they've got Michael Keaton's Batman back in there. Ben Affleck's Batman is in there. Now there's talk of it rebooting the entire DC universe of movies, at least. So we're in theory staring down the barrel of Warner Brothers doing away with Henry Cavill, Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot, and Ben Affleck, and replacing them with a Supergirl, a Batgirl. I don't know if Ezra Miller is going to be sticking around because he's done some silly things lately as well, and just Gal Gadot I think will stay because there will be hell. I think there'll be hell if they get rid of her. She's like arguably like the most mainstream popular out of everything. So I think they'll keep her, I like Gal Gadot, and I think she makes an awesome Wonder Woman in the hands of like if you look at the Wonder Woman movie and Zack Snyder's take of Wonder Woman in Batman vs Superman and Justice League, what they did with Wonder Woman 84 was just despicable. It was the worst. I couldn't hate that movie anymore. I don't have high hopes for this Flash movie either, just because of all the stuff that's been going on. I think it's going to be a mess, particularly if they're going to reboot everything. I don't like the suit too much. This clip that came out, which is this shot, shows a couple of visors coming down. Why? Like he has the Speed Force, which the Speed Force is there to give him the method to break physical laws, and protect him from the forces that he's doing and the speeds that he's running. He doesn't need a couple of visors to protect his eyes. I don't know what that's about. Someone on Twitter replied to me saying that maybe it's a HUD, a heads-up display in his lenses. Maybe that is. If so, fine, I get it. Maybe he's going to have a man in the chair scenario like the TV show does. I don't know. Just everything I'm reading about this movie, I'm just not digging it. I do hope it's good. Like, I don't want to waste my time on bad movies, So, of course, I'm going to hope all these movies are good. I feel like I'm a burnt fan. Where I don't have trust in the studio. The creative talent I don't have a problem with. It's the studio involvement that I have a problem with, and what their ideas of how this is going to go down is. I don't agree with a lot of the choices they're making. So yeah, that's what I want to say on it. And finally, just Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing Black Adam looks like a badass. He just looks, that is Black Adam, no way about it. And the crusty look that he's got, like he's just been woken up out of like a millennia of being, put to sleep somewhere. I think it's a very cool look. It looks like he can kick anybody's ass. I am getting very sick of the slogan that he's been throwing around the last 100 years about the hierarchy of power of the DC universe is about to change. Like, yeah, cool, that's fine. I'm sick of hearing about it. Let's just see how it goes. But this Black Adam movie is gearing up to bring in the Justice Society of America, because we've got Black Adam, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, Atom Smasher, and I can't remember the chick. There's a female hero in there. It's very unknown to me, or at least not on the top of my line. And there's another character in there as well that are all members of the Justice Society, or the JSA. So I think this is Warner Brothers' way to bring in the B team, and Dwayne Johnson wants to make his mark on the superhero genre and be the leader of this team, which Black Adam was back in the day, was the leader of the JSA for a time. So, like, how do you mess up? How do you generationally mess up the Justice League with your biggest characters in Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman? Like, that's a royal screw up, and now you're like really pushing to make all these other characters the thing. Like, the JSA isn't as big as Justice League. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, we're running quite long on here because I'm taking my time with it, because this is the second time I'm recording it. So we'll move in just to the final topic. So please bear with me. Coolio. All right. So I don't know if you've seen it, but the Sonic the Hedgehog movie that came out a couple of years ago, it was much better than I thought it was going to be. It was a lot of fun. So much so that I bought the 4K Blu-ray for it. And I've been so excited to see what the next one is going to be when they announce finally they were going to greenlight a second one. So they learned a lot of lessons from the first one. I guarantee you, right? We all know about the Sonic the Hedgehog revamp. When they released the first trailer and everybody was like, wow, that's disgusting. That's a nightmare. Oh, wow, they need to change that. That was the response. And they did. They took it back and they re-rendered the entire movie with a different hedgehog model, and they got dividends for it, man. It was a success, and the fans turned out for it. And so did the mainstream as well. A lot of kids and even adults that grew up with Sonic the Hedgehog like me, I didn't have much faith in the movie until I went to go see it. And I was the only person of age in that cinema that didn't have their own kid with them. So I felt a bit out of place, but I felt that movie, like the nostalgia, like I had the feels for that. There was a couple of moments of feels, I'm not going to lie. So it was a great experience for me. And just seeing kids recognize Sonic, like there was a few rows ahead of me where a kid was talking about a song that they recognized from the Endless Runner game. I can't remember the name of that, but there's an Endless Runner game on mobile, and there was a song in that game that was on the movie, and I could hear them talking about it. Like, that was their Sonic experience, and mine was at the start with the Sega logo and the Green Hill orchestral moment in the movie as well. And I was like, oof, I felt that. Oh my God. So now we're getting into season 2, Sonic 2. where it looks like they're leading heavily into the Sonic. Look at that noise. Oh my God. Look at it. Look at it. That could be like right out of the new game that's coming out. You know, it's a CG trailer or something for a new Sonic game. That's what this looks like. And I'm so here for it. Holy crap. Like that's just Eggman, a big massive Eggman mecha or Robotnik, however you want to say it. I'm going to always call him Robotnik, but whatever. But it's just, I saw a little snippet of this somewhere, and you can see the robot like turning around, and then the head spins around following Sonic and Tails on, I think it's Stormwind, the plane. And it's just, it's all there. That's what I mean. I think they learned a lot from the first one of like, well, the fans turned out for this. Let's just lean right into that, you know? Which I've been saying for years. Like, why aren't these studios just leaning into the fan base? You know, I know they're after the big pool, not just the little fan pool, but there's a reason why these properties and these characters have existed for so long. You know, it's because of what is there is working to a point. You know, the initial success and attraction to these properties is what made them popular in the first place. So I don't understand why these studios try and get their own spin on it. Well, you can do that and you can still honor the source, you know, which is what it looks like they're doing here. Now, I'm probably getting right ahead of myself. I'm probably setting myself up for a disappointment, but I'm here for it all the same. I mean, it can't be worse than the first one. It really can't, because the first movie barely had any Sonic lore in it whatsoever, and it still took its own liberties. You know, Sonic has his own power, like without Super Sonic. Like, I don't know if they're doing the whole Chaos Emerald, like the 7 Emeralds thing. I don't know if they're doing that to go supersonic. Like in the trailers, it looks like, well, even the next shot. I'll just bring the next shot up now, so to speak. And you look at this, right? It looks awesome. You got the Master Emerald there. It looks like they're on the floating island that Knuckles protects, you know. But Knuckles he's powered up. Like, he looks like the Flash. You know, he's got, you know, his red energy coming off him, and Sonic has his blue energy that was introduced in the first movie. It just looks like they're not going to be tackling the 7 Chaos Emeralds, you know, to turn into Super Sonic. I could be wrong. I hope they do, like as like an extra power up or something. I don't know. But the fact that they're just leaning right into the floating island and the Master Emerald, Knuckles, you know, Tails flying his plane, Stormwind. I'm going to keep calling it Stormwind until I'm corrected otherwise. And I just hope they're pulling back on the human element. You know, they've got the extra budget and they know the fans are there. You know, and Jim Carrey's back and he's got the full-on like robotic mustache and the suit and everything. Like, hell yes, I want it. Like, I can't wait for this. I'm more excited for this movie than I am any of those other DC movies. You know, just to put it in perspective. I never thought I would say that, but here I am saying that, you know? Yes, that's how it should feel, but it is what it is. Sorry, I've got a soundboard here. I totally forgot to mention it. I made a big point out of it in the original recording, but here we are. Anyway, so yeah, I'm super excited for this. Really am. But that's all I got to talk about. There's not much else out there for this movie to really discuss, you know? I just want to talk about how hyped I am for it. All right, cool. Let's wrap up. Anyway, yes. So that was a real massive balls up of Chuntcast 41. I wish I didn't screw up the mic issue, or I wish OBS didn't update. I think OBS updated, right? And it just threw out all my sound. You know, I'm used to just coming in here and opening it up and clicking record, and I never have to worry about it. I did a sound check before I recorded. It was all good. So I don't know what happened between the first sound check and the actual recording. I don't get it, but here we are. We've got this live version on now. Hopefully next time I won't screw it up, or I'll just triple check everything. So I appreciate your patience with this episode. I know it's probably not the best effort, and if you've survived into this one for this long, I really do appreciate your time. And again, like last week, and I haven't even had the chat open, so I do apologize if anybody's been chatting. Thank you for being here. Like, I appreciate your presence and your time, and I'll make sure we do good on the next one. This is only the second one for the year, so give me a break. Anyway, thanks for sticking by me and enjoying the episode. Well, hopefully you did. Be good to yourself and others, and until next week, take care, and I'll see you then.
Boy. destroyed.